Welcome to another episode of Big Al's Big Tips.
Hello everybody, it's Big Al with some more content for Lord of the Rings Rise to War. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Smash the like button on my videos if you've learned anything, if you like the content. Also, now there is memberships as well, which will get special content, early views on the videos, different videos contoured just to the members only. You can also tip me with the thanks button and hit hype on the videos as well. That helps out as well so I get more recognition from YouTube. So, now let's start the video.
I'm coming to you from the Big Al account, my original main. This is going to be a season update. It's going to be kind of a fairly simple season update because not much has happened. This is definitely a little different kind of server. So first I'm going to go into the leaderboard so we can see which fellowships are inside. So in Gondor, you have Han T, Mace, and GRND. This is 1T for those that don't know. And I'm here in Mace. Then you got Apes and Snap in Linden, and Star is their third team. You have Raw and Vikings in LoTRian. You have Warg, Wham, and there was one other small team, I believe. And Go TK in Erebor. In Ruin, you have another star team, King in Unit. You have Bath and Twin in Arnor. And then you have PMSN in Mordor. I think they're the only team. And then here you got Lord's Dawn and AWOL inside of Angmar. So as you can see, it's not an overly crowded server. It's going to be a little bit easier server. Only a couple big teams in it. Faction points, I'm sitting at 107, which I'm happy with because, as you guys know, I had surgery, so I've had very limited activity lately. Personal affluence, you got Badger, Titan, Numbers, which is Papa Balls, I believe. Let me see if it will show his history. Nope, it went to Numbers. I'm pretty sure that's Papa Balls. You got Aceman. I recognize that name. SPQR. Okay. Bar Hall's another great one of our players. Light of the East. Prisma. So, yeah. And I'm not sitting too bad. 146 in affluence. I'm not that big of a farmer. I just do the early farming to get the jump start on everything. Merit, there is some merit, but not much. And you'll understand a little bit more when I go into the map. So, and that's all I'm going to scroll for that one. Just because, like I said, you'll understand when I go into the map. So, here's the map. As you can see, Gondor down here. We came out and we took the center stuff. We've moved into Rohan lands. We've moved into Mordor lands. Pretty much open season for farming. Again, of course, most of the farming has been done while I've been cooped up recovering from surgery. So there's that. As you can see, Linden here looks like they've jumped through, so I would guess that Arnor and Linden have an agreement, and I believe there's only one or two smaller teams in Arnor anyways. But Linden jumped to take this, so that means they're going to probably be relocating here to try to take this pass and fight us. As you can see up here, you got Ruin that has taken all of their lands, moved into that first parcel, and where you got Erebor, Ruin, and LoTRian all fighting. Yeah, you got all three teams on here. It's almost a 10 million participant pin, so not too bad. And as you can see, there's a small one here, which I'm going to assume is going to be Eagles since this pass is still closed. So yeah, There's not really too much going on in this server. Not yet, at least. And like I said, it's not a full server, so it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a break. Because I know in my other server with the Big Al Reaper and Forgotten account, if you guys paid attention to that, we are getting beat up a little bit in that one. So it's nice to have a little bit different flow. So I have a couple reports to show. One thing that I want to do is I'm going to take, besides my reports, I'm going to grab one or two reports from players inside of the server and get a report or two from them so we can go over them. So King Dark Happy is a very good guy. I helped him, I don't know, it seems like a year ago with some of his gear, and we had to do it through email because Discord doesn't work in his country. So we'll take a look at what he's got. He has Gil as his tank. He's running Goat Riders, okay. He's got King of Men. He has Dane. Here, let me take a look real quick. Yeah, it works either way. And then he has an R4 Sauron. And he went up against Hanron in Vikings with an R7 Undying, which you should put 1 point over here since you don't have 5 here yet, just so you get those extra instances off enemy white council. Gandalf the White, okay, looking solid, 225 focus. He's got his relic. Okay, he's got a command and a focus and a unit attack. You know, as far as I'm concerned, is the skills, most of the time you're only going to find 2 skills, maybe 3, on a relic that are unique, that helps the commander. But I think this is the one ring that all 4 stats help him. I mean, you have command, focus, unit attack, unit defense. All of those stats are useful. Z8 Dane and a Z10 Beorn. So this guy way outshines him when it comes to respect levels and gear. But as you can see, the fight was pretty dang close. So there's a couple things that contributed to this. First, as you see, he's running 3 medium units. He's running all small units. So he's going to get an individual counter buff, extra damage, for the hits with Gil, Dane, and Sauron. Okay? So there's one thing. Number 2, this guy is running all melee units. So him having Undying here as a tank does absolutely nothing for him when you come to the tank aspect, because all your melee units are standing in the front line. So like on here, you have Gil with the melee unit, and then all of these ranged units are standing behind him. So most attacks are set to prioritize melee units or random units. And even on the random units, the melee units are usually the ones that get hit first. So all of his commanders over here are getting hit. There's no trying to steer damage away from them. Those are the 2 main reasons why this guy took such a beating on this fight. Let's take a look in here. He did 173 and he received 200k. So he also did 27,000 damage to himself. You look at the anomalies. Look, you got 16 here. He only did 3. You know, Beorn. So, like I said, those are right there's the 3. The anomalies, the individual counter buffs, and the fact that he's running all melee units instead of melee and ranged. I mean, if you have a taunt unit like a mountain troll, yeah, you can run the other three as melee units because you're still getting that taunt for the first 3 rounds. And 3 rounds is a lot of damage. That's almost a third of the fight. So, there's that report. I've only had one fighting report so far. Okay, and as you see, I'll show you my gear for my main account. Well, was main. I got my R10 Frodo, my R10 Gandalf the Grey. I have an R6 Saruman. If you remember correctly, I was running Dane last season as my damage dealer. This season, I wanted to try to see how it goes with Saruman, getting those the head of White Council killing, getting the extra madness and stuns. So I wanted to see how that goes. I mean, it's not the best focused 192, but it is what I could do at the moment. And then Sauron, I am also testing where obviously speed because I'm smaller. I need the speed. I want my Sauron to act before other Saurons. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to run all purple to see if I can get purple and the 4-piece agility. If I can get him to act first in the fight, and also to see if it's doable to where I don't need to waste purple on him or gold on him because I'm not using him for any kind of damage whatsoever. Madness, debuff, and adding extra damage taken to the enemy. So if I can get away with just running purple on here, that frees up the gold for my other three commanders, like my damage dealer, my tank, or my support. And we fought this guy, and I've seen this name before. And he's got an R1 Roach King, R1 Saruman, an R4 Shadow, that's a good start. I'm assuming this is a smaller player. R1 Sauron, okay. And the Plague. Let's see what he's got. An R1 Sauron. You know, I hate to say this, but I wish people would stop using Sauron R1. I think you need R2 before you start using, because you're not going to get the results that you're expecting, and it might turn you off to him later on. And I say this, and even in my Forgotten account, I run him at Respect 1, but I also know more. I have the knowledge on the game of why he's not doing what he's supposed to or what he can. R8 Shadow, okay, nice. He's got the 4-piece sharp blade, so he's getting up to 167, and then you got some over here, so that's good. You got an R8 Lurtz, okay, he's using the pipe, and this is something that people need to know. Commander damage is huge, right here, very, very big, okay. So obviously he doesn't have another Palantir or a Drums of Bearer door like he does on Shadow. So a pipe will go here just for the commander damage. And then you need to get as much attack out of these three items as possible. But when you do this, you do not strengthen this at all because more commander focus does not help Lurtz. I mean, you could refine it to get a more commander damage, but don't ever strengthen a pipe if you're using it on a physical damage dealer. It's only there for the commander damage. And an R5 Witch King. Okay, that's not a bad start to an account. This is not going to help you though. A 7.5% chance. You're better off putting it in here until you get, say, 5 points, and then you're at least getting a 30% chance, plus you get this damage stat. So until you get 5 points, definitely put the extra points into the debuff. It's going to help you a lot more. So, and that was a good fight. I mean, I won that fight. I was a lot lower starting than him. So, yeah, it's not a bad fight. And like I said, I hope to be able to bring multiple oh, is he going to take this? Multiple different reports from multiple factions, so we get to see what everybody's running and the differences. Okay, yeah, he's going to take that, not a problem. So I am doing a little bit of farming right now. I'm trying to on the only available 11. I think there's one more 11 available. That's stone. So, like I said, that's the report, the season update. Not too much going on. Obviously, we're going to be taking this pass. I moved over here, so we're going to be taking this pass when it opens up. Oh, dummy. I'm a dummy. Let's see, what day are we on? We are on day 9. And as you can see, that pass opens up in 14 hours. So obviously, we'll be taking that soon, whether it's when it opens or tomorrow. And I don't know if we're going to go fight Ruin or if we're just going to take it for defensive measures. Same thing with this one over here. I'm sure at some point we'll get done. Um, let's see what's going on over here. Do they got it set up? Nope, they don't even have a fortress built over here either. So, no big deal. So, that's all I got. So, as always, make the most out of what you got.